Hey everyone, welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm your host, Jason.
And I'm Julia, your co-host. We're so happy you're joining us today for another exciting episode, especially if you're trying to grow, improve, and become more confident in your English journey.
That's right. And today's topic is a powerful one. It's called Nothing Changes If Nothing Changes.
Yes, this simple sentence can change your life, and guess what? It also helps you think in English in a deeper way.
Exactly. This phrase means that if you don't do something differently, your situation will stay the same. Whether it's your English skills, your habits, or even your daily routine, if nothing changes, then nothing changes.
Today, we're going to talk about what this really means, why it matters, and how it connects to learning English and life.
We'll also share some examples, a role play, and tips on how to start making small changes that lead to big results.
And don't worry, we'll keep the conversation slow, clear, and full of useful expressions you can use in your daily English practice.
So grab a notebook, or just relax and listen, because this episode might inspire you to take the next step forward in your life and your English journey.
All right, let's dive in.
So, Julia, let's start with the big question. What does nothing changes if nothing changes actually mean?
Good question, Jason. It means that if you don't do anything different, your life or your situation will stay the same. You won't see progress unless you take action.
Right. Let's think about learning English. If you keep doing nothing, not practicing, not speaking, not listening, your English will stay the same. No improvement.
Exactly. It's like going to the gym. If you just think about going but never go, your body won't get stronger. Same with your brain and language skills.
Yes, and many people wait for motivation or a perfect time to start. But the truth is, change begins when you take even a small step.
Let's give an example. Imagine someone says, I want to speak English fluently, but they don't change anything in their daily life. They don't speak, don't listen, don't try. What happens?
Nothing. Their English stays the same. But if they change just one thing, maybe listen to an English podcast 10 minutes a day, or practice one new word, then little by little, they'll grow.
Yes, it's not about big change all at once. It's about small daily choices. Change your habits. Change your results.
And this quote is powerful because it's a wake-up call. It reminds us that if we want something better, we have to do something better.
So true. And this doesn't just apply to English, it's also about confidence, relationships, jobs, health, everything.
Absolutely. But the good news is the moment you make a new choice, you create a new path.
So if you're listening and thinking, I want to improve my English, remember, change starts with action.
Yes, even listening to this podcast is a good change. You're already doing something different. And that's how progress begins. Now that we understand what nothing changes if nothing changes means, let's talk about something really important: why people stay stuck. Why don't they make changes?
That's a great question, Jason, and honestly, it happens to all of us. One big reason is fear. People are afraid of failing or they worry about making mistakes.
Yes, especially when learning a language. Many learners think, what if I say something wrong? Or, what if people laugh at my English?
Exactly. And because of that fear, they stay silent. They don't speak, they don't try, and they miss the chance to improve.
Another reason is comfort. It's easier to stay in your comfort zone. Watching videos in your native language feels safe. Not speaking English means no risk.
Right. But comfort can be dangerous. It can keep you in the same place for years, no growth, no change.
Then there's lack of motivation. Some people say, I want to learn, but they don't have a clear reason why. They don't have a goal or a strong purpose.
That's why it's important to ask, why do I want to learn English? For work, travel, to make friends. Having a reason helps you move forward.
Another reason people stay stuck is waiting for the perfect time. They say, "I'll start next week," or "I'm too busy right now."
Yes, but the truth is, there's never a perfect time. There's only now. Even 5 minutes a day can create a big difference over time.
And let's not forget about bad habits. Sometimes we use our free time on things that don't help us, like scrolling on social media or watching TV in our own language all day.
Right? If we use just a little of that time to listen, speak, or read in English, we can start moving forward.
So if you feel stuck, you're not alone. Many people feel the same. But staying stuck is a choice, and so is breaking free.
And it all begins with one simple step: doing something different.
So far, we've talked about why people stay stuck: fear, comfort, waiting for the perfect time. Now let's flip the script. Let's talk about how small changes can create big results.
Yes, a lot of people think they need to make huge changes to improve, like studying for hours every day or moving to an English-speaking country. But actually, it starts with small, consistent steps.
Exactly. For example, listening to English for just 10 minutes a day, that's not a big change, right?
Right? But if you do that every day, for 1 month, you'll be shocked at how much your listening improves.
Same with speaking. If you say just one full sentence in English each day to yourself or a friend, that adds up to 30 new sentences a month.
And that builds confidence. Because the more you speak, the easier it gets. Your brain gets used to thinking in English.
Small changes also feel less scary. If I said, "Hey, Julia, study English for 3 hours today," you'd feel overwhelmed.
Haha, I'd run away. But if you say, "Julia, learn 3 new words today," that feels easy. I can do that. And over time, 3 words a day becomes 90 words in a month.
Exactly. So small changes are powerful because they are doable. And when you succeed at something small, you feel good and you want to keep going.
That's the secret. Change doesn't have to be big. It just has to be real and daily.
So to our listeners, think about one small thing you can change today. Not tomorrow, not next week. Just today.
Maybe it's switching your phone to English, or reading a short article in English, or saying good morning in English to someone.
Whatever it is, take that one small step, because small steps lead to big results. Now let's bring this idea to life. Julia, I think it's time we share some real-life examples, people who made small changes and saw big results.
Yes! I love this part because real stories help us believe that change is possible. I'll go first. I had a student named Fatima from Morocco. She was very shy and didn't speak much English at all.
Oh yeah? What did she do to improve?
She made a small decision. Every day, she said one short sentence in English to herself in the mirror. Just one. For example, "Today is a good day," or "I can learn English."
Wow, that's simple. But it builds confidence, right?
Exactly. After 1 month, she was able to speak in full sentences. Then she joined an English-speaking group online. Now she speaks confidently in meetings.
That's amazing. And it all started with one tiny change, talking to herself in the mirror. That's powerful.
Do you have a story too?
Yes, I do. One of our listeners, a guy named Arman from Afghanistan, wrote to us last year. He was listening to our podcast while walking to work just 15 minutes a day.
Nice! So he made English a part of his routine?
Exactly. No books, no classes at first, just listening every day. After 3 months, he could understand English much better. Then he started repeating what he heard. That helped his pronunciation.
That's so smart. Repeat in shadow, it's a great method.
Yes. And now, he's even helping other learners by creating short English videos on Instagram. One small change led to something much bigger.
So inspiring. And it shows that you don't need to move to a different country or have perfect grammar. You just need to take action, even a small one.
Absolutely. So if you're listening right now and thinking, I can't do it, remember people just like you made a small change, and it worked.
You can do it too. Start small, start today.
All right, now let's do a quick role play. We'll play two friends. I'm Alex, and Julia, you'll be Sam. We're both trying to learn English. Let's see what happens when one of us makes a change and the other doesn't. Hey, Sam, how's your English learning going?
Same as always. I want to get better, but I just don't have time. Too busy with life, you know?
Yeah, I get it. I was the same. But last week I started listening to an English podcast every morning while making breakfast.
Really? Does that even help?
Actually, yes. Just 10 minutes a day. I already learned a few new phrases, and I understand more now. It feels good to finally do something.
I don't know. I'm just waiting for the right time. Maybe next month I'll start.
Sam, I used to say that too. But next month becomes next year. You don't need an hour, just 5 or 10 minutes a day.
Yeah, but what if I make mistakes?
That's part of learning. I talk to myself in English when I walk to work. It feels weird at first, but I'm more confident now. And I even joined a free speaking group online.
Wow, you're serious about this.
I just got tired of waiting. I figured nothing changes if nothing changes. So I decided to change something, even something small.
Maybe you're right. I'll think about it.
No pressure, but trust me, small steps can take you far. Just start, even today.
Wow, I feel like I really was Sam. I've said those things before.
And I've been Alex too. The difference is mindset. One person takes action, the other waits.
This role play is a good reminder. Even just starting makes a big difference.
Exactly. So to our listeners, which one are you right now? Alex or Sam? All right. Now let's break down some of the useful vocabulary and expressions from the role play between Alex and Sam.
Yes, there were a lot of common phrases in that short conversation. Let's go through a few of them together.
First, Alex says, I used to say that too. This is a great structure used to mean something you did in the past, but don't do anymore.
Right. For example, I used to be shy. Or I used to watch TV every night. It shows change over time.
Next, Alex says, just 5 or 10 minutes a day. This is a very natural way to talk about building habits. It's short, simple, and realistic, perfect for motivation.
Sam says, maybe next month I'll start. This is something we all say sometimes. It's a way of delaying action. We push things into the future instead of starting now.
Then Alex says, that's part of learning. This is an encouraging phrase. You can use it when someone is afraid to make mistakes. Mistakes are normal. They are part of learning.
Yes, and don't forget this powerful phrase, nothing changes if nothing changes. We've been talking about it all episode, but it's more than a quote, it's a mindset.
Exactly. And one more phrase, small steps can take you far. That's motivational and easy to remember. It's also a great example of using metaphor in everyday English.
So if you're listening, try using 1 or 2 of these expressions in your own speaking or writing today. Even practice them out loud.
You can even pause this podcast, repeat the phrases, and say them with your own examples. That's how you train your speaking brain.
Don't just listen, use the language. That's where the real progress happens.
So we've talked about why people get stuck and how small changes can lead to big results. But let's go deeper now. How can someone actually start making a change?
Great question. And the answer is, start small and start now. Don't wait. You don't need a perfect plan. Just one small action is enough.
Totally agree. For English learners, that could mean something as simple as learning one new word today, just one.
Yes, or maybe change your phone settings to English. That way, you see English every time you unlock your screen. Small change, big impact.
Another simple one. Speak one sentence out loud every day. You don't even need a partner. Talk to yourself. Say, "Today I feel happy," or "I'm learning English because I want to travel."
And don't forget the power of listening. While doing chores, walking, or cooking, just play a short English podcast. Even 5 minutes helps your brain adjust to the sounds and rhythm of English.
The key here is to make it part of your daily life. Make it easy, small, and repeatable.
Right. Let's give our listeners a quick step-by-step. Pick one small action. Do it today. Repeat it tomorrow. Celebrate the small win.
Exactly. Don't focus on being perfect. Focus on being consistent. Progress is better than perfection.
I love that. And once that small action becomes a habit, you can add another. Over time, these small changes build a new version of you.
So if you're listening right now, pause and ask yourself, what small change can I make today? It doesn't have to be big. It just has to begin. Okay, so we've talked about starting small, but let's be honest, even small changes can feel hard sometimes. Fear and resistance often show up. So let's talk about mindset.
Yes, fear is normal. Everyone feels nervous when they try something new, especially when learning a language. But fear doesn't mean stop. It means you're growing.
That's so true. I always say, feel the fear, and do it anyway. Courage isn't about having no fear. It's about moving forward even with fear.
Exactly. And resistance? That little voice in your head that says, "I'm too tired," or "What's the point?" We all hear it, but you don't have to listen to it.
Here's a mindset trick I love. Don't think, just do the first step. Open your notebook. Press play on the podcast. Say one word. Once you start, it gets easier.
Yes, action creates momentum, and once you see a little progress, your fear gets smaller and your confidence grows.
So, if you're scared to speak or try something new, that's okay. Just remember you don't need to be perfect. You just need to be brave for one moment.
And we believe in you. Every learner has fear, but every learner also has the power to grow starting today.
All right, listeners, now it's your turn. We've talked a lot about change, but what really matters is action.
So here's your challenge. Make one small change today. Just one. It can be anything: learning a new word, listening to an English song, speaking one sentence out loud.
It doesn't have to be perfect or big. The goal is to do something different. Remember, nothing changes if nothing changes.
And after you do it, celebrate. Give yourself a little pat on the back. You took a step forward, and that's something to be proud of.
Then tomorrow, try another small step. Keep going. This is how change happens day by day.
We believe in you, and we're cheering you on. Let us know how your small change goes by sending us a message or commenting below.
Yes, your story can inspire others. So start today, even now. Well, that brings us to the end of today's episode, Nothing Changes If Nothing Changes.
We hope you feel inspired to take action, even if it's just a small step. Remember, change is a journey, not a race.
Every small effort counts, and the most important thing is to keep going, even when it's hard.
Yes, your progress might be slow at times, but it's still progress, and soon you'll look back and be amazed at how far you've come.
Thank you for listening and spending time with us today. If you liked this episode, please share it with a friend who might need a little motivation too.
And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss our next episode.
Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and remember, nothing changes if nothing changes. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm your host, Jason, and as always, I'm here to help you on your journey to mastering English. Whether you're a beginner or you've been learning for a while, This is the place to grow your confidence and skills. Now, today's topic is one that I know so many of you struggle with. One thing stopping you from fluency. If you've ever felt stuck or wondered why you're not making the progress you want, this episode is for you. And, of course, I'm not here alone. Joining me is my wonderful co-host, Julia. Hi, Julia. How are you today?
Hi, Jason. I'm great, thank you. And hello to all our listeners. I'm so excited about today's topic because I know it's something that really holds a lot of people back. But don't worry, we're going to break it down and give you practical tips to overcome it. So stay with us, because by the end of this episode, you'll feel more confident about taking your fluency to the next level.
That's right, Julia. And remember, if you're enjoying this podcast, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any of our upcoming episodes. All right, let's get started. So let's start by talking about what fluency actually means and why so many people feel stuck on their journey to becoming fluent. Julia, in your experience, what do most learners think fluency is?
Great question, Jason. A lot of learners think fluency is about speaking perfect English without any pauses, hesitations, or mistakes. But that's not really true. Fluency is more about being able to express yourself clearly and naturally, even if you make a few mistakes along the way.
Exactly. And one of the biggest misconceptions is that you need to learn everything. Every word, every grammar rule, every pronunciation detail before you can be fluent. That's simply not the case. What's your take on that?
I completely agree. I've seen learners spend so much time trying to memorize long lists of vocabulary or stressing over grammar, but they still don't feel confident when it's time to speak. And you know why? Because fluency isn't about knowing everything. It's about using what you know effectively.
Yes, and that's where the real struggle comes in. So many learners spend their time doing things like studying alone, reading textbooks, or watching videos passively. But when it's time to actually talk, they freeze. And there's one major reason for that. Julia, do you want to reveal what it is?
Of course, the biggest thing stopping most people from fluency is fear. Fear of making mistakes, fear of sounding silly, fear of being judged, and honestly, Jason, I think this fear holds back more learners than anything else.
Absolutely. And that's why we're dedicating this episode to helping you understand this fear, where it comes from, and, most importantly, how to overcome it. So if you've ever felt scared to speak English, you're not alone, and we're here to help. Let's dive in. Now that we've set the stage, let's talk about this big barrier. Fear of making mistakes. Julia, why do you think this fear is so common among English learners?
You know, Jason, I think it's because most people want to be perfect. They don't want to sound foolish or say the wrong thing, especially when they're speaking to native speakers. It's like they feel this pressure to perform perfectly, and that pressure can be paralyzing.
Exactly. And that fear often leads to hesitation. You start second-guessing yourself. What if I say the wrong word? What if my grammar is incorrect? What if people laugh at me? These thoughts can make it feel safer not to speak at all. But of course, that only makes the problem worse.
Yes, it's like being stuck in a cycle. The less you speak, the less confident you feel, and the more you avoid speaking. I've even heard learners say things like, "I'll practice speaking when my English is better." But how can your English get better if you're not practicing speaking?
That's such a good point, Julia. I've also noticed that this fear often starts in school, where mistakes are sometimes punished or corrected too harshly. Learners get used to thinking mistakes are bad, and that mindset follows them into adulthood.
Right. And it doesn't help that social media or online forums can sometimes make people even more nervous. If someone corrects their mistake publicly, it feels embarrassing. But here's the thing. Mistakes are a natural part of learning. Even native speakers make them.
Exactly. And let's not forget, mistakes are how you grow. When you make a mistake, you're giving yourself an opportunity to learn something new. But if fear keeps you silent, you're robbing yourself of that opportunity. Julia, do you have any stories or examples of learners you've worked with who overcame this fear?
Oh, absolutely. I remember one student who was so scared to speak because she thought her accent wasn't good enough. She avoided conversations for years. But when she finally started practicing, she realized that people were much more interested in what she was saying than in how she sounded. Once she let go of that fear, her confidence skyrocketed, and so did her fluency. It wasn't overnight, of course, but it was such a transformation.
I love that story. It's such a great reminder that progress is possible when you face your fears. And speaking of progress, we're going to share some practical tips to help you overcome this fear and start speaking with confidence. Ready, Julia?
Absolutely. Let's give our listeners some tools they can use right away.
Now that we understand how fear can stop you from speaking fluently, let's focus on how to overcome it. Julia, what's one of the first steps learners can take to tackle this fear of making mistakes?
The first step is to change your mindset. Remember, mistakes aren't failures. They're lessons. Instead of seeing them as something bad, think of them as stepping stones to fluency. Every time you make a mistake, you're actually learning something new.
Absolutely. And a great way to embrace this mindset is by setting small, realistic goals. For example, instead of saying, "I need to speak English perfectly," try saying, "I'll practice speaking for 5 minutes every day, no matter how many mistakes I make." Julia, do you think starting small like this can make a difference?
Definitely, Jason. Starting small helps build confidence without feeling overwhelming. And along with setting small goals, I always recommend learners create a safe space for practice. That could be practicing with a trusted friend, recording yourself speaking, or even talking to yourself in the mirror. These low-pressure activities can really help.
That's such a great point. And speaking of recording yourself, it's an incredibly powerful tool. When you record yourself, you can listen back, notice areas for improvement, and track your progress over time. Plus, it's just you and your voice. No fear of being judged by others.
Exactly. Another tip I love to share is finding a language partner or joining a conversation group. These can be online or in person. The key is to practice with someone who's encouraging and supportive. Jason, do you have any favorite platforms for finding language partners?
Yes, there are some great ones out there. Apps like HelloTalk, Tandem, or even joining English-speaking Facebook groups can connect you with people who want to practice just like you. The best part? They're often learners, too, so they understand your fears and won't judge you.
And here's another tip. Focus on communication, not perfection. Remember, the goal of speaking isn't to be grammatically perfect. It's to get your message across. Most native speakers aren't even thinking about your grammar. They're listening to what you're trying to say.
That's so true, Julia. I think learners sometimes forget that even native speakers make mistakes all the time. It's normal. So instead of worrying about grammar, try to relax and focus on the flow of the conversation.
Right. And if you're still feeling nervous, one of my favorite strategies is to prepare in advance. For example, if you know you'll be having a conversation in English, think about the topics you'll discuss and practice some key phrases ahead of time. That preparation can make a huge difference.
Such a helpful tip. And let's not forget about the power of positive reinforcement. Reward yourself for your efforts, no matter how small. Maybe you tried speaking up in a meeting or joined a short conversation online. Celebrate that progress. Julia, do you have any final tips for our listeners?
One more. Be patient with yourself. Fluency takes time, and everyone's journey is different. Instead of comparing yourself to others, focus on your own progress. Remember, every word you speak, every mistake you make, is a step forward.
Perfectly said, Julia. So, to recap, change your mindset. Start small. Practice in safe spaces. Focus on communication. And celebrate your progress. If you follow these steps, you'll be well on your way to overcoming your fear of mistakes and becoming fluent in English.
Absolutely. And remember, everyone listening, you've got this. Mistakes aren't the end of the world. They're just the beginning of learning something new.
Now, let's wrap things up with some final thoughts and a bit of inspiration for you to take with you. We've covered a lot today, but before we go, we want to leave you with a bit of inspiration. Julia, what's one final thought you'd like to share with our listeners about overcoming their fear and achieving fluency?
I'd say this. Fluency isn't about perfection. It's about connection. Think about why you're learning English in the first place. Maybe it's to travel, make new friends, or advance your career. Whatever your reason, remember that every step you take, even the small ones, brings you closer to your goal.
That's beautiful, Julia. And I'd add this. Learning a language is a journey, not a race. It's okay to stumble. It's okay to take your time. And it's okay to laugh at your mistakes. Every great speaker started exactly where you are now, with doubts, fears, and a desire to improve.
Exactly, and you're not alone. Millions of people around the world are on the same journey. The key is to keep going. Don't let fear stop you from speaking, from trying, or from growing.
Well said, Julia. So, to everyone listening, take that first step, no matter how small. Speak up in a meeting. Say hello to someone in English, or even practice by yourself. Each time you try, you're proving to yourself that you can do it.
And we believe in you. Remember, fluency isn't something you wait for. It's something you work toward, one conversation, one sentence, and one word at a time.
Thank you for joining us today. We hope you found this episode helpful and inspiring. If you did, make sure to subscribe to the podcast and share it with anyone who might need a little extra motivation on their English learning journey.
And don't forget to leave us a comment or question. We'd love to hear about your experiences and how you're overcoming your fear of mistakes. Until next time, keep practicing and keep growing.
Take care, everyone, and remember, you've got this. That brings us to the end of today's episode on one thing stopping you from fluency. We hope you're feeling more confident and ready to tackle your fears about speaking English.
Absolutely. Remember, every time you speak, you're making progress. Don't let the fear of mistakes hold you back, because mistakes are proof that you're trying.
If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast for more tips and discussions about learning English. We're here to support you every step of the way.
And if you have questions, thoughts, or even success stories to share, we'd love to hear from you. Leave us a comment or connect with us on social media.
Thank you so much for spending your time with us today. Keep practicing, stay motivated, and remember, fluency is within your reach.
Take care, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye for now.
Bye, everyone. Keep speaking and keep shining. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English Learning Podcast. I'm Jason, your host, and with me today is my amazing co-host, Julia. Hey, Julia.
Hey Jason, hello everyone. I'm super excited about today's topic because we're going to share some quick and easy tips to help you improve your English and speak more confidently.
That's right. Whether you're a beginner or already on your English learning journey, these tips will help you get closer to perfect English.
And don't worry, we're not going to give you complicated theories. These are simple, practical tips that you can start using right now to improve your English speaking, pronunciation, and confidence.
Exactly. So, if you've ever struggled with grammar mistakes, pronunciation issues, or feeling nervous when speaking English, this episode is for you.
And don't forget, stay with us until the end because we'll also share 3 big mistakes that English learners should avoid.
All right, let's jump in. First, let's talk about why speaking English well is important. So, Julia, before we get into our quick tips, let's talk about this. Why is it so important to speak English well?
That's a great question, Jason. English is the global language of communication. Whether you're traveling, studying, or working, good English skills help you express yourself clearly and confidently.
Absolutely. Imagine you're in an airport and you need to ask for directions. If your English is unclear, the other person might not understand you. But if you speak correctly and confidently, communication becomes easy.
Exactly. Plus, in today's world, so many job opportunities require good English skills. Companies prefer employees who can speak English well because they can communicate with clients and colleagues from different countries.
That's true. And let's not forget, if you speak English fluently, you can enjoy movies, books, and online content without needing translations. That makes learning even more fun.
Right. And one more thing. When you speak English well, you feel more confident in social situations, whether it's making friends, joining discussions, or even giving a presentation. Good English skills help you feel in control.
That's a great point, Julia. So, now that we understand why English is important, let's move on to our quick tips for perfect English. Now that we know how important it is to speak English well, let's get to the most exciting part, quick and easy tips to help you achieve perfect English.
Yes, these tips are practical and simple, so you can start using them immediately to improve your English speaking, pronunciation, and confidence.
All right, let's start with grammar. Julia, why do you think grammar is so important?
Well, grammar is like the foundation of a house. If your foundation is weak, your house won't stand properly. The same goes for English. If your grammar is wrong, people might not understand you clearly.
That makes sense. Many learners struggle with verb tenses, prepositions, and sentence structure. What's an easy way to fix this?
A great tip is to focus on common mistakes and learn from them. For example, many learners say, "Yesterday I go to the market," but the correct sentence is, "Yesterday I went to the market."
That's a simple but powerful change. So, learners should pay attention to past, present, and future tenses and practice them in daily conversations.
Exactly. And a bonus tip. Instead of memorizing grammar rules, learn by listening and repeating correct sentences.
Next, let's talk about pronunciation. Julia, what's the biggest mistake learners make?
The biggest mistake is not practicing pronunciation enough. Some words are tricky, and if you say them incorrectly, people might misunderstand you.
Right. So, what's the best way to improve pronunciation?
One of the best techniques is shadowing. This means you listen to a native speaker and repeat exactly what they say, copying their speed and tone.
That's a great tip. So, learners can watch English podcasts, movies, or YouTube videos and repeat sentences out loud to improve their pronunciation.
Yes, and another trick, record yourself speaking English and compare it to native speakers. This helps you hear your own mistakes and fix them.
Okay, let's move on to vocabulary. Many learners struggle with finding the right words. What's the best way to improve this?
Instead of memorizing long word lists, learn words in context, which means learning them with sentences instead of just single words.
That's so true. For example, instead of just learning the word decision, you should learn it with phrases like make a decision, because that's how native speakers use it.
Yes, and learners can try the word of the day method, learning just one useful word per day and using it in different sentences.
Great idea. And don't forget about collocations, words that naturally go together, like fast food, strong coffee, or heavy rain.
Exactly. Learning words this way makes English sound more natural and fluent.
Now, this tip is a game changer. Thinking in English. Julia, why is this so powerful?
Well, many learners translate from their native language to English before speaking, and that makes them slow and confused.
So, what's the solution?
Start with small steps. Look around you and try to describe what you see in English. For example, if you see a car, say in your mind, "That's a red car. It's moving fast."
I love that. And learners can also talk to themselves in English throughout the day, like when making coffee or getting ready.
Yes, the more you think in English, the faster and more natural you'll speak.
And now, our final tip. Practice speaking every single day. Julia, what's the best way to do this? Especially if someone doesn't have a speaking partner.
Great question. You don't need a partner to practice. You can talk to yourself, describe your day, or even record your voice and listen back.
That's a fantastic idea. And learners can also use language exchange apps or join online English-speaking groups to practice with real people.
Yes, the key is consistency. Even 10 minutes of speaking practice every day will help improve fluency.
Wow! Those were some really simple but powerful tips. Let's do a quick recap before moving to the next section. Common mistakes to avoid. All right, now that we've shared our quick tips for perfect English, let's talk about something equally important. Common mistakes that English learners should avoid.
Yes, many learners make these mistakes without realizing them, and they can slow down progress. So, let's go over the top 3 mistakes and how to fix them.
The first big mistake is translating directly from your native language to English. Julia, why is this a problem?
Well, different languages have different sentence structures, so if you translate word for word, your English might sound unnatural or confusing.
That's true. Instead of translating, it's better to learn English phrases as they are used naturally.
Yes. For example, in some languages, people say, "open the light," but in English, we say, "turn on the light."
Exactly. So, learners should listen to native speakers and copy natural expressions instead of translating everything.
Another huge mistake is being afraid to speak because of making mistakes. Jason, have you seen this happen a lot?
All the time. Many learners don't speak because they're afraid of saying something wrong. But here's the truth. Mistakes are part of learning.
That's right. No one speaks perfect English in the beginning. Even native speakers make mistakes sometimes.
So, instead of staying silent, learners should speak as much as possible and learn from their mistakes.
Exactly. The more you practice, the more confident you'll become. Mistakes help you grow.
And the final mistake is not practicing English every day. Julia, why is consistency so important?
Because learning a language is like going to the gym. If you don't practice regularly, you won't see results.
That's a great example. Even 10 to 15 minutes of daily practice is better than studying for hours just once a week.
Exactly. Learners should make English part of their daily life, listening to English music, watching English videos, or even talking to themselves in English.
Yes, small daily habits lead to big improvements over time.
So, to all our listeners, avoid these 3 mistakes and your English will improve much faster.
That's right. Now, let's wrap up with some final thoughts and a special challenge for our listeners. Wow, we've covered so many great tips today. Before we wrap up, let's take a moment to encourage our listeners. Julia, what's one thing you want them to remember from today's episode?
I want them to remember that learning English is a journey, not a race. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to feel stuck sometimes. But what matters is that you keep going.
That's so true. Many learners feel frustrated when they don't see fast results. But improving English is like growing a plant. You have to water it every day, and over time, you'll see it bloom.
Exactly. And every small effort you make adds up. Maybe today you learn just one new word or improve one sentence, but over time, all these little improvements will make a huge difference.
I love that. And remember, confidence comes from practice. The more you speak, the more natural and fluent you will become. So don't wait for the perfect moment to start speaking. Just start now.
Yes, and here's a small challenge for our listeners. After this podcast, try to speak in English for 5 minutes. Talk about your day, describe what you see around you, or practice some of the tips we shared today.
That's a great idea. And if you're feeling brave, you can record yourself speaking and listen back to see how you improve over time.
Yes, the key is to enjoy the process and celebrate your progress. Learning English is not just about speaking a new language, it's about opening doors to new opportunities, meeting new people, and gaining confidence.
That's such a powerful message. So, to all our listeners, keep practicing, stay confident, and never give up. You are improving every single day.
Yes, and we're here to support you on your journey. Keep listening to our podcasts for more tips and motivation.
Absolutely. That's it for today's episode. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time on English Learning Podcast.
Keep learning, keep growing, and have an amazing day. Bye for now.